Hey everybody, welcome to the Bold Today Show. I'm your host, JD Houvener, patent attorney and owner here at Bold Patents Law Firm. And it's my pleasure to talk with you about patents. And what I want to do first off is invite any of those that have live questions, bring those on. That's what this session is all about. If you're inventing, if you maybe have thought about inventing, or just want to know more about patent law and IP, intellectual property, this is the place to do it. And so I want to do a couple of things right out of the gate. As I am an attorney, I want to make sure that you know what to say here in this forum, because we are in a live setting. We have a disclaimer, right, as an attorney. So please do not share confidential invention information. Okay, this is not the forum for that, but this is the place to ask those kind of high-level process questions, or those things that maybe you can use anonymous, or what's the term, kind of more general questions to keep it at a high level. That'd be awesome. I am excited because I've got one of our clients that's going to be coming on. I'll be interviewing him, Oscar Williamson III. He goes by Moosey, and he's got a really cool product he calls the Pak-Jak. So he's gonna be on here in just a few minutes. You can definitely ask him questions. He'll be on for about 10 or 15. And then we'll be answering avo.com questions. So for those that are listening in from Avo, I will be getting to a bunch of questions that came in with respect to trademark law. And so I do see we have some live viewers, so it's great to see. Secondly, I wanna make sure I understand that those people that are ready to go, that are listening, they've been following us for a while, I want to provide you a link to schedule a free screening session. All right. So we have, I've trained advisors that are not attorneys, but they've got a lot of skills in terms of listening for what people's needs are that are getting started. So if you're ready to see if patenting is the right fit for you, book a screening session today. All right. And if you do that, you take that bold step, I'm going to give you a copy of Bold Ideas, the Inventor's Guide to Patents. This is a book. It's a PDF right now. We're going to download it and give it to you today if you schedule. It's a 100-page, pretty easy read. It gives you all the nuts and bolts on what patent law is, what the state of the art is, what the difference between patents and trademarks and copyrights, trade secrets are. It's yours if you take that action to book a screening session today. Okay, so let's bring Moosey on. All right, so have him come on. Thank you for joining.
Hey, how's it going?
Going great. I appreciate you taking that bold step and coming on this live forum. We are broadcasting on Facebook and Google, their YouTube channel, as well as Twitch. So I wanted us to kind of get our audience a little bit of a sense as to who you are and kind of how you got started and what Pak-Jak is.
For sure. So who I am, I'm just pretty much an avid outdoors person. So, I like hunting and fishing and backpacking and hiking. And, I live in Idaho. I live in one of the best places in the world to do that. So yeah, so that's kind of who I am. And then Pak-Jak came about. There's actually a friend of mine, Lance. He went on a hunting trip last year and he came back and he was like, man, it was cold and I had on my jacket and I was sweating and, so I had to take my jacket off and my arms were cold. So I had to put a jacket back on backwards. And I was like, man, I do that all the time. So, and he was like, man, you need to invent something, a front loaded jacket or something that you don't sweat on your back. And so we started talking. I kind of put him on the back burner, and yeah, a few months down the road, he came back to me and he's like, dude, have you done that yet? And I was like, no, I haven't. And anyway, we just went from there. I started talking about him. The third time he talked to me about it, I said, let's do it today. So we just started taking pictures, laying out the design, and we looked it up. There's nothing on the market like it. So yeah, it's been a fun process.
Awesome. Well, it's good to have that, that friend that kind of nudges you along, right? And
for sure.
Encourages you. So awesome. So, it was this idea of being in the cold. I'm not a hiker, not too much, but I get it. I mean, obviously you're moving around. It's cold outside, but you've got all these layers on, and your body naturally wants to cool itself down. And so you bet that back sweat, it's got to be annoying, and maybe even potentially could be harmful, right? If you open that up to the environment, now you're gonna have freezing sweat, right?
For sure.
Freezing water all over you.
Yeah, especially if you're going in the backcountry for like 5 days or something like that, and you start out hiking. A scenario is you leave your truck, you bundle up because it's super cold. You start hiking, you start going up the mountain. Your body's naturally going to get hot. Your back's going to sweat. Then your jacket's wet. Your shirt's wet.
Yep.
It's something people don't like to talk about, but it's a reality of it. So this one, you can start out the morning by wearing a jacket, but it's not covering your back, so you get the airflow through the back. And we'll show some pictures. I think you got the video from my website and stuff later. We can kind of show how it works. But yeah, we started looking into it. There's nothing like it, so I started looking for patent attorneys and found you guys, and we went from there.
Awesome. Well, do you have a jacket with you there? Can you show something on camera, and then we'll go to your website?
For sure. Yeah, we got. I got a couple things. Use the floor as my holder. So I'll kind of show this. So it's just a puffy jacket. So it's designed. If you look at the back. So
oh yeah,
right here you can see the zippers on it.
Yeah.
So it's designed for the boardroom. I mean, it's a nice jacket you can wear out, you know, with your significant other, and you can go out in town, and nobody would realize that it's a backpacking jacket. So, but you know, for utilization of it, it has those two back zippers, and then you basically just pull off the back panel, and that's what this is right here. So they have
completely removable. It totally comes off. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it totally comes off. So, yeah, and then so yeah, so that's it. 90.
Look at the website. I want to see you guys. I looked at that earlier. That has a good video on there. Can you maybe you can walk us through that?
Yes, for sure.
All right. Here we go. So this is Pak-Jak.us. I'll throw that into the chat so people can follow along. All right. And should I play this first video? And obviously people aren't going to hear the audio. So go ahead and kind of walk us through what's going on here. And
yeah, so that's
actor is looking good here.
That's me wearing the Pak-Jak, and you can see I have the backpack on, and then you slip the jacket on from the front. So it attaches on the top with some universal straps that attach to any kind of backpack. So it doesn't matter. So right here is the back of it, and shows how it zips off.
Okay.
Right here. So then this is me wearing a backpack and just sliding it on from the front and then connecting it to the top.
So it's got kind of snaps at the top.
Yeah, so we have some universal snaps, and these connections, and I'll show you those here in a little bit, they connect to any backpack. I got 14 backpacks, so I have quite a few, and they connect to all of them. And so this here, you can put the belt on the bottom so it doesn't fall off, and it also has a removable hood with snaps. And then, very cool. Yeah, so that's, and you can see the connection at the top. This one connects to the frame.
This one here is you're saying it's the universal, and most backpacks have this type of clip.
And what that is, you know, the strap you actually put on your backpack at home, and you figure out the length, you figure out how you want it. It's adjustable, as you can see with the buckle on there, and then you, yeah, and then then it's always on your backpack, and you could put them on the top, and there's also connections on the bottom if you want to. You know, one of the biggest concerns that people have is it going to fall off? How's it going to stay on? It works really well. I mean, you know, as you're looking at it, I'm doing all kind of hiking here. It's not falling off. There's a little walk through. You can see the back.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Allows the airflow to the back, right? Even though you're wearing a sweatshirt, I mean, it's going to keep your back cool.
Exactly.
And yeah, you can get the best of both worlds.
Yep. So this is me hiking with it on, you know, with the back on, and then the back off. You notice even without connected to the backpack, it stays on.
Yeah.
So we designed a little bit of a shoulder blade piece that holds onto it right there, and you can see. And this is just kind of a 3D view of it. And this is me with the backpack on. You can see the air gap that goes through the back that allows the air flow through there. Because that's anyone that backpack knows. I mean, anyone that has, I mean, right there. You, no matter, I mean, you know, backpacks have been designed to get that airflow through there. But if you have to wear a jacket and you have all that material back there, you're still going to get hot and it's still going to sweat.
Yep.
So this pretty much alleviates that.
Cool. Let's take one more video. We can check that one out as well. This may show some other features.
Yeah, so this is we're actually going to have a men's cut and a women's cut. This is a prototype. It's just a generic look right now. This shows the mesh back. I don't think we've talked a whole lot about that. What I was saying is, I mean, 90% of people are like, is it going to stay on? Excuse me. And then, and so this is kind of the office view of it, right? So you can see that you can wear it to the office. That's the connection on the top. So yeah, we designed that mesh back, and that's the straps on the bottom, the optional straps. If you back it up just a little bit,
Yep.
So we have buttons down at the bottom, and then that connects to the frame or to the. A lot of people don't have internal frames versus external frames, and it'll just attach to straps.
Got
so
it.
it is universal. So, and this is an optional. When she turns around, you can pause it. So if somebody wants to put on the lower strap, it's the same button connection that connects to your backpack. It connects to, you know, if you decide to wear it. But this is a strap that if you don't want to have the back on it, you don't want it connected to your backpack, you want to just wear it. You know, I've had a lot of hunters that have asked me, hey, if I, you know, want to have it and not fall off while I'm hiking around. So this is just an option that we added to it as well. We actually designed and patented, I think it was a 10-point connection system on it in the patent, just to make sure we covered all aspects of you know, connectivity and to make sure that it fits.
Cool. Very cool. Yeah, and let's take a quick peek at that. I do have a. You're working with Reed Reisenmay on that. I do have a shot here. Let me pull this one up. Yeah, let's see. We have this one here. You guys can see that drawing.
Yeah.
Kind of the different pieces here. This is just one of the drawings that we worked on for you, Musi. So you can kind of see all the different points. This is what a patent drawing looks like. And it's kind of a small picture, but you've got a lot of different attachments, a lot of different, you know, elements to this.
Yeah, we show all the connections on the top, on the bottom, how it connects to the backpack. Yeah, it was pretty detailed, and everything's, you know, labeled saying, you know, like the slot A to slot B, and it works really well.
Right. Awesome. Well, good to hear. So what is next for you guys? What's kind of the news?
So yeah, so we've just been marketing online. I roll things out pretty fast. I'm not one to sit back and wait around. You know, I have 2 other apparel companies, plus I have a full-time job, you know, which I love. And so when this idea came about and we decided to launch it, we expedited it, went to manufacturers and started getting designs going. But next week, next Thursday, we're launching on Kickstarter. So we're going to try to get this funded, get this new project going. And, you know, to be able to find that, if you go out to Pak-Jak.us, go out to our website, there's a place to put in your email address. You know, I respect privacy. I don't share those email addresses with anybody, but we will send you a reminder. We're also giving out anyone that signs up is in an entry for a free jacket. But yeah, we're excited. So next Thursday at 11 a.m. we're going to launch Mountain Time.
Cool, awesome. So what's the goal? What are the highlights there? People get in early. What are the big, you know, things they can get?
Yeah, so a lot of people ask me about the price and the type and everything else, and we're still working on that because we are still in the design phase of it and what type of material and stuff. I think we've narrowed that down pretty close. So I think we have a pricing range. You know, retail, this is going to be, there's a lot of features, a lot of components, a lot of stuff. You know, there hasn't been any jacket innovation, you know, for decades. And this is the first actually jacket change besides fill, you know, and then the outside material and stuff. This is a new, you know, so it's a new concept and stuff. And so we're trying to put in, and that part we're not rushing. We're spending a lot of time on research and stuff.
Good.
So our retail price is going to be around the, you know, $349 mark. We're going to launch it the first day. We're going to sell it for $169 on the Kickstarter. So just for the first 24 hours. So we're going to try to launch it, get some funding goals. You know, we really need to raise, you know, probably, you know, I don't know if we could, I'm assuming we could talk numbers, but, you know, we need to raise, you know, about 75,000. We're going to set a goal low just because we don't know, and, you know, just to help us, because typically on Kickstarter you reach your goal and they keep funding it. So we're going to set an initial goal of 25,000 is what we're trying to raise. So, but you know, realistically, we're hoping we're in the 6 digits numbers on this launch. Just with but yeah, it's a lot. The first 24 hours is going to be the best deal for sure. It's going to be
cool.
169, and then the next 100 that sold are going to be for 179. And then after that, it'll be 189. So it's kind of, there's an incentive to go and get in early, you know, mostly for my sanity and my stress level, right? So I'm willing to give up some money, and you know, if people actually come in early. So
Well, congrats, and it's awesome. And I know a lot of people dream about, being in a position where they've got a patent pending and products that are ready to get launched on on Facebook, on Kickstarter. Um, any words to those that may be kind of thinking about or not sure they want to move forward and pull the trigger on a patent? What would you say to them?
As far as like if somebody wants to file their own patent?
Oh no, I mean, like, yeah. I guess I just say, why did you decide to go for a patent on what you developed?
Well, my decision on it was, just to first to find out if there was anything out there like it, and there wasn't. And then I thought, if this is a great idea, most people say, hey, I want to file a patent because I have the next, I have the next wheel invention, right? Like this is the best thing. I know I'm going to have more naysayers than I will positive sayers on this. But once people figure out and see the system and see how it works, I think it's going to catch on and it's going to be pretty popular. So I wanted to have something in place to protect that. I'm a small fish. I don't have much money. I don't have much, I don't have much of anything except for ambition and, a lot of friends. But yeah, so the big thing for me is I wanted to protect that. Because there's so many copycats, and I import with my other apparel businesses. I import, and I know that importing from overseas, there is a lot of theft going on and stuff, and so I decided, hey, I need to protect that somehow, and the patent definitely helped me do that.
Good deal. And would you mind sharing a little bit about your experience working with Bold Patents and Reed Reisman, your patent attorney?
Yeah, so it was awesome. I actually looked at 2 local firms. Before, because I have a lawyer that I use for other stuff, and he said, hey, I'd rather not do the patent, find a patent lawyer. He recommended. I called them. I wasn't getting phone calls back. I wasn't getting, so it was a little bit painful. So I thought, maybe I just won't do this. And I started Googling. I found you guys, which you have a local office too here. And we, I sent out a message, and it went pretty smooth. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it was a good experience. So Megan wrote back to me, right away, and she gave me some information, and we had an initial consultation, and it's like, hey, you have to pay to talk to our lawyer, and I'm like, yeah, it's worth it to get them, and at first I'm like, I don't just want to talk to somebody, but having a great thing. So I paid the fee. I talked to him. You guys did all the research. We went to the next level, and next thing I knew, it was done. And so yeah, I appreciate you guys, and just because it was great. So Megan was, she was really good, and she kept me in the loop. Like, hey, it's anticipated to be done at this time, to review at this time, and Reed was really good, and kept sending me emails. And and people say all the time, hey, send us a message if you have any questions or concerns. And a lot of times they don't mean it. Like I messaged probably 5 or 6 times because I was in panic mode, right? I'm like, hey, I'm worried about this. I'm worried about this. And he was like, hey, calm down. It's okay. We'll look into that. And they got back to me and called me back right away. So yeah, it was great. I was, I appreciate your team.
Yeah, no, that's great to hear. Thank you for sharing that. And we're there with you. And this isn't the end, of course. You've got a provisional filed. You've got to follow up with a non-provisional within a year.
Mm-hmm.
For those that aren't familiar, you've got up until 1 year to file that, and if you don't, it goes abandoned. So we're hopeful that we'll be in touch, about that 9 or 10 month mark, and get you filed and get that for the USPTO formal filing coming up here soon. So what we'll do here, I don't see any questions, but I see a lot of people cheering you on.
I appreciate it. I'm looking at the chat deal right here, and I got some people that are dropping and saying, hey, Moosey, I appreciate the shout outs. And
absolutely. Cool. So we'll put you backstage. I'm going to go off and answer some Avvo.com questions. But Moosey, it's a pleasure having you on. Thank you for sharing your invention and being a really good client for us.
Okay. Thanks.
All right. All right. Good deal. Well, we got a question coming live one come from Brian Allentoff. Looks like his first question of the day. I'll feature. I always try to prioritize live questions, so I'll answer that. How long does a trademark typically post on the USPTO Gazette before it's approved? Okay. Well, so approved isn't necessarily the right term. There's a basically pending status for trademarks, and then there's registered. Before it gets registered, a trademark will always get an application will always get published for opposition. Okay, so there's a period. I think it's 90 days, and I'm not our trademark guy is Matt Colseth. He might tell me I'm wrong on 90 days, but 90 days where it gets published on the Gazette. Okay, and that's the period where anyone that has a mark that's similar, right, maybe in the same industry, if they've got people or they've got attorneys that are watching for opposition, they have the opportunity to say, no, this mark shouldn't be allowed, even though the examiner said it's good. this is too close to my name, right? This is too close to our design or our word mark, and they can file an opposition. And during that procedure, the panel of judges will say, yep, there's a conflict, or no, there really is no conflict here. The consumers would not be confused if this were to proceed to registration. So I believe it's 90 days. Thank you for your question, Brian. I can, once you send me an email, I can confirm that with our trademark attorney, Matt Colsep. Shoot me an email right there, and I'll get you a direct answer shortly. Okay, let me jump to our avo.com questions, and I'll share my screen so you guys can see those. You're welcome, Brian. Okay, so we had 8 questions come in the past week, all on trademarks. No questions on patents. Also, I'll do one and bounce back and see if we have any live questions. So this first one comes out of Fayetteville, North Carolina. The question is, can you trademark multiple logos at once if they're all in one photo? They go on to ask, I paid for a branding sheet when I started my street apparel business. So I have many different visuals of my brand's name, and I want to protect them all, but I don't want to pay multiple fees. So what I would say is, what's most important is, what is the customer going to see? All right. And it's not necessarily, people get confused, especially with apparel. It's not necessarily what's on the shirt, right? It's actually what's on the tag of the shirt, right? What are customers going to see when they go online and see your brand on your website? Okay. That'll likely be a static image. Okay. And if it's a compilation of logos, right? A compilation of different images, but it's fixed. That whole thing, right? That whole compilation is your design mark, right? That's the real term, the legal term for a logo, right? Design mark. I should say that in almost every case, in almost every type of business and industry, the word mark is actually going to give you more rights. Okay, it'll give you broader authority than a design mark will. A word mark has more pull and has more, I guess, breadth, because it can be, you can protect against folks that try to do misspellings, or even folks that try to rip off your brand and have sound-alike names. All right, so it does have a little bit broader. Whereas the design or the logo, if that were modified even a little bit, right, to a different color, different scheme, it may not be infringing on your design mark. And generally for new companies, okay, it sounds like you're starting a new one, I generally advise doing the word mark first, and then after a couple of years of confirming that that logo really is the one you want to stick with, then file the design mark after that. So that's my recommendation, is to actually look into a word mark first, then protect a logo second, to give you the broadest rights possible. So thanks for your question. Let me check back on StreamYard here. Don't see any direct questions, so we'll go to our next question on Avo. Probably got time for just 2 more, so I'll try to pick some good ones here. All right, and I'm reading this for the first time here. Okay, let's take a look. So this one's out of Brooklyn, New York. Again, a trademark question. The question is, are platinum records, so 2 words, platinum, and platinum records in the same class of a trademark likely to confuse people? Well, I mean, without really reading much further, I'm going to say yes. Okay, but let me just read on. Hello, I'm looking to register the name of a record label for trademark. I want to register the name Platinum Records in 009 class, but another trademark already exists with Platinum Records in the same class already. I'd like to, would I likely be turned down by an attorney or registering my trademark? There shouldn't be a big comparison. So, I mean, yes, I do, because it's got 2 of the main keywords here. I mean, platinum is really the distinctive mark. It doesn't necessarily associate to records, although I'm familiar at least a little bit with music, and I do believe that is a designation for, you know, the number of records sold, right? So I think that term, and just because it's repeated twice, likely will fail the test of whether it be confusing, meaning it would be confusing to customers, and so it would not be registered. That's my, you know, informal opinion. If you wanted a formal written opinion on that, certainly you could look into hiring a trademark attorney. Our firm would be one option to help you look into that more. but I have a 99.9% chance that's going to get rejected just because you're repeating that term that's already registered by a different brand. All right, let's jump to the second. One more question, then we'll bring Musi back on to close up. Last trademark question here. Let's see if we got a good one. All right. This one's out of Vero Beach, Florida. Question about trademarks. As an example, a trademark is registered and owned by a company. Let's say the trademark slogan is "as soon as possible." Does the same company then own the acronym ASAP? Or does this acronym also need to be on the registration application? If the acronym is not also owned by this company, can a different company rightfully and legally then register ASAP, right, as its own trademark? Okay, interesting. So it's I think they're sort of using this as an example where it's someone who spelled out, the whole acronym, and they have a mark, registration for that. I think it's possible. I think it's possible that if someone, actually has, 4 words spelled out, and that is their registration, the trademark examiners will look at each word fully spelled out as a designation for that's how their customers that are purchasing goods and services are buying from as soon as possible, right? That's a lot of 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 16 letters, right? 16 letters long. That's quite distinct from ASAP, all right? So my hunch is that, yes, I think you have a good shot at registering ASAP, right, the acronym, instead of the fully spelled out term, as long as, of course, that is distinctive and there's no other brand in the same classification. All right. So hope that helps answer your question. If you have any follow-ups, please do email me. We can get you some more information. But I think that's looking in the right direction. Okay, let's check back and see if we have any live questions. Jake, you got a question. Can I sell my product using a provisional patent? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, absolutely. You can sell products without getting a patent, right? But of course, you then have the huge risk of someone else just infringing, or not infringing, but ripping you off and copying you. And those folks could be deeper pocketed, have a bigger supply chain, and beat you to market. So the concept of going for a patent, right, is the ability to be the exclusive one to make, use, and sell your invention. When you're pending, right, yes, you're taking a risk that someone, a larger company even, would see your product, even though you have obviously got it labeled as patent pending, and you do have those prospective rights. You're not going to be able to, and they may copy you, right? And they may be betting against you and say, they'll never get the patent. And that is a risk you take, right? When you go public, before you get your patent granted, it is definitely a risk. But with business, you got to take risks. And I think with, we'll bring Musi back on, and I think he's got a lot of experience selling apparel, and he said earlier there's a lot of copycats out there. What this will do is, if you put people on notice by saying patent pending on your publications, on your actual product, and then they still infringe, you can later get them for triple damages when you do have rights that have been granted, when your patent gets granted, and you can really enforce your rights quite heavily. All right, so let's bring Musi back on to kind of wrap up that. Do you have anything else to share on that question that Jake raised?
Yeah, no, I was listening to that, and I was thinking back at last year when I wanted to go out and meet with manufacturers. Here in Idaho, we actually have 5 backpack manufacturers, and we have 5 backpack companies, and we also have 3 camo companies. I'm one of them, and so there's a lot of people I wanted to talk to, a lot of friends in the industry, and I wanted to, you get this idea and you want to bounce it off people, especially experts in the field. And so I wanted to, and talk with you guys. You're like, hey, hold back, and so I was kind of like, you guys put up the dam in front of me, and I'm holding, I'm back there just wanting to jump through it and stuff. And I'm glad I waited. There was a lot of prep work that we needed to do, and we were still designing prototypes, and which we still are. But yeah, once we have that filed, all the stuff in place, I feel a little more secure now, because we do have the patent pending going on. And we're hopefully with this Kickstarter, once that gets done, we can do the full patent, not just a provisional patent. So but yeah, we didn't sell anything, we didn't showcase anything, we didn't reveal anything before that, just from the standpoint of worry about not being able to, because if we did and somebody ran with it, I can't compete against Columbia or North Face or something. If they decided they're like, hey, this is a great idea, we're going to take it, I'm done, and that's just the way it is. So we held back, and now we're selling. Now we're getting the word out. Now we're advertising. We're meeting with backpack manufacturers and big retail stores. We're talking to a lot of people now that are interested in it, and hopefully it'll go somewhere. It's still all in the works. It may just be a pie in the sky idea, but we got good momentum, and a lot of smart people have seen the deal, and they're like, oh yeah, it's common sense, right? It's like using a fork, and you're like, oh, I can use my hands, but using a fork's a lot better. It is. But
we're definitely pulling for you, and wish you the very best of luck on your Kickstarter and as you get launched in the market. Anybody listening on our show that may want to get in touch with you, obviously we have your website up on the comments, but if you want to give out an email or a phone number if anyone wants to reach out and kind of just talk inventor to inventor.
For sure, I won't give out my phone number, but I appreciate you asking me that. So
yeah,
but anyone can get a hold of me. I'm pretty reachable. I got 15 different email addresses, and the best way to get a hold of me is sending me an email or visiting our website. It's super easy, pakjak.us, and then put in your email there. And then my email is moosey@pakjak.us. It's super simple. You can share that up there so people can get a hold of me.
Okay.
Send me any questions. The best way is just sign up on the website. Like I said, put in your email address and we'll have that. Moosey at Pak-Jak. And I personally respond to all my emails. Anyone that, and like I said, I have 3 apparel companies now, and I work a full-time job as well at an engineering firm, which I love. And yeah, it's balanced. I got 5 kids. I mean, I have a busy life like a lot of people, but I personally respond. I spend probably about an hour and a half to 2 hours a night replying to people that have questions on products and other stuff. And and it's a lot of fun. I love people, right? So it works out really good. So I appreciate emails, and I look forward to them.
Awesome. Well, thank you again so much for coming on and sharing your time with us. We'll be following up on our Facebook page, and we'll have you on our show hopefully when we're talking getting your patent granted. All right.
All right. Hey, I appreciate it. Thanks for your time, and thanks everyone for tuning in.
All right. Cheers.